All right. So, hi guys, thanks for joining this session. So, today it's not our usual, going through assignment because that's supposed to be next week, right? So, today we'll go through, talk about the just completed assignment, and we have someone that did exceedingly fine, and we'll also point out the reason why. And we'll also go through a few because we have a whole lot of them. So, we'll just go through a few of them. Then, if you have any other comment, if you have any other questions, you can bring it on. So this is the reason for this call. So if we don't have anything holding us back, let's start. So first off, thanks for joining. We have over 20 mentees on this program, more like 20 something mentees, and we have a few of us here. So thank you guys for taking the time to join us today. And trust me, you're going to learn a lot today. You're going to see some stuff. And before now, we talked about the progress. And a few of us here, would I say are using a strategy which is be funny to me, because I asked, what's the progress? I keep hearing, I've been adding content. Then when I'm done working everything, I will not do the audit. So that is not a good approach because audit is always the first thing when it comes to content migration. Is always the first. It can never come second. It can never come second. It must be first. You know what audit means, so you shouldn't make audit come second for any reason. Okay? Audit is you checking for issues. And right now you leave the issues you want to check. You copy the issues to the new docs. Then when you're done copying the issues, you now start looking for the issues in that new docs. That's double work. That's not a good approach. So when you go to an interview and they ask you, so what approach would you use when you want to migrate a new content? And you tell them first, okay, let me just continue. First, I will copy the whole content, push it to the new docs, then I will not audit it later. Because with your approach, you won't even have time to audit. The next thing is you've published. So let me use food. You understand? Food, let's say you want to cook beans and beans has beetle. Yeah, because of time, let me just take the beans, put the beans in the fire. The when is when I parboil it, I will start looking for the beetle. When you're done, when you're done parboiling, what you have in your head is put oil, put crayfish, put whatever, and boom, you're eating beans and beetle. So you've created a new meal for the whole world, beans and beetle. You understand? So audit is always first. Nobody wants to eat beans, beetle. Yes, we've eaten beetle, but at least reduce the number of beetle. Don't give me 1,000 beetle in my stomach because if you didn't fish out the beetle, you understand? So audit first before you do anything because auditing is you fishing out issues, pointing out issues, and having possible solutions. And those solutions are what you're going to implement. Now, how that works is when you're in an organization, when you're done with the audit report, your project manager or whoever is a manager would use that audit report to now create a task for you. For example, you say the homepage has one grammar problem or this or that. They will now use that to create a task and give it to you to work on it. So you didn't give them anything to create a tax from. They will be the one that start looking for how to. So what are you going to do here? It's a question back to you because you want to move everything. So let's change that approach. The main essence of this program is not just to give you assignment, just do the assignment you haven't. No, is to ensure you follow the right step, the best strategy. So when you get an organization, that is what you will do. When you get to an interview, that is what you will say. And that will also make you stand out. So that is not a good approach. So you can follow the other approach, you understand? But in this program, please don't follow that approach. Nobody wants to eat too many beetles. Remove the beetles first. Then you cook your beans. Because if you don't do that, You've created a new food for the whole world, beans and beetle. Then the next thing, who would say, which is the World Health Organization, would say, beetle causes this. And damn it, everybody in this program is filled with beetle virus or something. All right, so let's don't follow that approach. Beetle, not beetle, beetle. That little instant you see in beans. Maybe you don't eat beans so much in the US, but here
Oh,
in
I
Nigeria.
do. Oh, I do eat beans. It's just that my people cook it different. We no B2 anything like that.
Oh, for we, I think we have. I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
about the
beetle? Oh, I
for
didn't. I
beetle.
don't.
Okay,
Oh, I
beetle.
don't eat.
We call it beetle here.
Oh, my
Beetle.
cool.
So maybe
My
it's more
cool.
about GMO beans. You might not see it there, but I think we have more
Oh,
natural kind of beans, so we have a lot of it. If you buy and you leave it in your wherever you keep it for a long time, you start seeing it creeping out from nowhere. Okay, so first off, thanks guys for the assignment. Me and Prince we went through the assignment, and it took us a long time, to go through all the assignments, and you guys did wonderfully well. Like I was so impressed. The styles, some of you two were so good. The approach were so awesome. So we picked out a few. So in no particular order before we talk, pick out the person that won that assignments. In no particular order, we picked out a few of them that we feel stood out. This set of people, they did awesome and they did so well. So let me know if you can see my screen. And I don't even know. I don't know. I think a few over here. I think I would look for a way to get the names. I can't get the names of some of you here, but I can recognize one person's own here. Sorry, I'm checking this before. Okay, so let me just share my screen anyways. I don't know the person that has this first one, but I think she's here. And we have a whole lot of she's. If you can see my screen, let me know. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so this person, I don't know if this is Cecilia or this is Ruth. So if this is your assignment, can you raise your hand? Let me see. I think that's Ruth or Cecilia.
It's not mine, so it may be someone else's. It's not mine for sure.
I say Ruth or Rose. Rose, is that you?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, and you kept mute because I said Ruth. Okay, so first off, thank you for doing this. So I like a whole lot about what you did here. First, this sidebar, which we talked about, which makes it easier for me to navigate. And the way you also nested it is very cool. So it's easier for me to close. I don't want to see this. I want to see this. So whatever I don't want to see, I just close it and just see what I want to see. And like I said, you nested it. So you have drop down inside drop down. We mix it very, very cool. So thanks for doing that. So reviewing the work wasn't a problem at all. So you've made it easier for me. Oh, sorry, I didn't check the first one. I would have seen your name. Now, this is cool. This is fine. But this is not, would I say, this is not a necessity, because when you work in an organization, they know that this is coming from you. So, but this is good for this assignment. I understand, good for probably like a lecturing or a school environment, so it's easier for them to spot the owner of this, which was the issue I had earlier on. Now you listed the objectives, which is awesome. Let me go down, and you use the tables, you use the links, talked about the problem, talked about the solution, and also use links also. So I love this. I love everything about this stuff. So kudos for this. Then the next one I have here is who has this one? Okay. Yeah, now this is coming from Cecilia. Now, thanks so much for also doing this. I love how you started. Same thing here. This is good, for this assignment. So you listed the scope and the objectives. So whoever is reading this would know that, okay, this is what this is all about. And these are the evaluation criteria, which is good. So now here is one has something over the other, which you've seen yourself. So with rows, it's easier for me to just go down to any section and I get what I want to get. But for yours, what missed out is we don't have that. And when you look at this side, you see 1 out of 14, which means it's a long, long stuff here. It's so long. So breaking it down using the style of rows would have been perfect.
Sir Wisdom,
Well,
can you please click on problem number 1? Okay.
click. Yeah,
So
I'm here.
yeah, it's showing us heading 1, but why is there no sidebar? Let me try and see it from my end. Can continue. Let me check from my end.
All right. So now, when we check this, we love the idea of the problem number 1 with the red flag. It was cool, kind of loved the idea of mixing the emojis. We saw the red flag. He said, which means it's a red flag. If you don't understand that this is a problem, the red flag will tell you it's a red flag. And you went into details, you use images, which is cool, the solution and more. So I told you guys the other time that it's good for you to use a table, but when you are talking, you would have to say so much. You have more issues and you have more in-depth way of explaining the problem, so that whoever would see that would know, you don't have to use a table because it's not going to take up everything for you. And again, when it's just too long. So this is good. This is very, very good. And we love this. And again, when it comes to auditing, it's not also too good to make it so big, because sometimes we don't have that much time to just go. They just want to let me see the problem, let me see the solution, and move on. So, but this is good. Now, but if we had that breakdown, it would have been very easy for someone to jump through. And using the images is also cool. Yeah,
I
Prince?
think I've seen what she did. Okay. If you double click on the sidebar, it will drop down. All the H1 headers will drop down. Try it.
Okay.
Yes. So, but this
So,
now, most can't find this. So I
I
think
didn't find it.
yes, because I use this a lot. But I was not wondering why. But now the issue is the sub tabs that rules incorporated. So I think that's what she'll need to incorporate to next time. Yeah. So if you double click on it to drop, yeah.
Okay. That is good. It's good. But this is something I didn't find out except he said so. So, but in an organization settings, she will be the one to present this. So she will now do this one. But this is good. At least it's much easier than me trying to scroll from here to there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So nice. What is the problem? All right. Okay. Is it because I'm at Or isn't the malfunction?
No, she used tab. It's just like
All right, let me
writing
jump off
on
because clicking
pages.
is it works. Okay. So, but so far this is good. And again, yeah. Now one other thing, Prince, if you can jump in if you want to add anything.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So looking at this, also the annotation you use, they are cool. But how you use annotations confused us a bit and would confuse any person that want to look at it like circled here, and circled there. So this circling will confuse person. When you circle and you use a bit of numbers, it will be easier for someone where you explain why you circled all this 1, 2 within just this image alone than you go into writing. Okay. Now you came here the same rectangle, but this is easier for me to know that these are issues that you're pointing out. But making it much better is adding more to this so it's clear. But you did a great job. Like this is really cool. Prince, I don't know if you have anything before I continue.
No, I'll just give the overall summary of what you should look out for. I'm assuming this is Cecilia's work. Yes.
Yeah.
So the overall summary should be length of each tab. So when you have a tab that's this long, it might even discourage somebody to go through it. So you should break it into sub tabs. 1, 2, work on your annotations. So for the circle diagrams, if you have more than one thing you're trying to point out in one image, use numbers and write out when you're writing the text, follow it with the number. So number 1 is supposed to show this, And this image, service of this place you're at in now, this kind of image. If you have an image like this, except if you're showing the entire section, if you're showing a part of it, you can just screenshot that part or crop out that part. Because this image as it is, I don't think anybody can see what you're trying to show.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you have something this large, it's either you break it down, you crop it into a smaller section, or you take one screenshot and then highlight it with a rectangular box. Yeah.
So man, cool. Like I love this. Like going
Great
to
use of the red flag though. The red flag is actually very good. So great use of it.
Yeah. I saw the red flag. I just remember Ruga. Red flag. No, it's cool. Well, for me, like I always say, I don't like, technical writing environment should look like something straightforward. Try to spice it up a bit, So at some point, I've been talking about having an auditing tool that would add interactivity. So you just see the problem, you see the solution immediately, So Celia, you did very, very fine. Then we have this one. Who is this? Is she here? Is it Gangandi? I don't know if I pronounced the name well. So she did excellently well, but the issue is with this host of one alone is also very, very long. It's also very, 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 very long. So breaking it down would have been much, much better. I love her style. Page URL, give us a URL, authentication, search function issue. Like I love how detailed, authentication page not found. So when I saw this, I immediately went to click. Let me see if it's not found. And it wasn't found. I said, added image and gave the step when the user does this. I don't know if she's here. Let me check again. Is she here?
No, she's not.
Okay. Wherever she is, she has done great. This is another work I love so much. I love this so much. Now, navigation. Now, this was kind of funny because when we checked it, we saw that the breadcrumbs was there. So we said, okay, let's go and confirm if actually. I was like, what does she mean? I'm looking at it in your image is also showing this whole. So we went and we found out that the breadcrumbs itself is clickable. I said, oh, these are issues you won't even notice, but she did. missing intro, getting started. Like I love how she spotted out issues in different angles. And I love that so much. So one issue is major one is just sidebar, having that sidebar, nested sidebar. So it's easier for me to know where and where to go. This one right now is just one very long page. And this will be boring for someone to check. A good job will be boring because it's just too long. Technical writing is never going to be too long. So if you go through her work, you will see she pointed out real problems, real problems. I just love what she did. So annotation is one part that she needs to work on and more. Overall, her work is very good, very good. Then we have Gloria. Hi, Glo. How you doing? I think some days ago on the WhatsApp group, I said Gloria did something. So if you remember, this is it. So Gloria did good. I was so much happy because Gloria had been my person, but she disturbs me a lot. But so now we don't have the drop down too, so which is also same thing with Gang and Deep's work. Too long for someone to go through. Now I love same thing issue, URL, solution, and also give an example. So, but try to reduce it a bit because people wouldn't have so much time going through all these things. They just want to see the problem. You say there's a problem, you say there's a solution. That way it's easier for them to do that. So priority, other stuff you added, which is also very cool. So if it's high or low, or if it's medium. So this is very good because when creating a task, this is what the manager will check. Okay, is this of higher priority? Let's work on this first before the one that they say is low priority. So this will help them because if you don't add this, you'll be the one to tell them which is of high priority or not. But making the work easier, you've added this already, they'll go through it and they'll just pick it out and create a task from it. So this is good. So getting started, information on how is unclear. This is solution. This is the link. This is solution. This is an example. Cool. So now we have one more. Who has this one? All right. So Judith, good job. Now is one. Added the date. Somebody else added date again. I think it's Gangan Deep added date. No, actually. Yeah. The other person add date. Okay, just audit and replay. When I saw the date, I was like, oh, are you sure you did this assignment within this range or you did more than that? All right, so also very cool having the summary, the purpose of this, the scope, the findings, areas of focus, navigation, visuals, and content, recommendation. When I saw that, I was like, oh, cool. And this is a general recommendation, add a glossary, which they don't have, revamp the landing page, introduce concept of projects, rename, sub, tabs, share update on this. Okay. So when I saw this, I was really so cool. Now you have the drop down, just like Rose. Is it Rose or Cecilia? That's Rose, right? Yeah. So Rose, same thing with Rose. And now this is what we are talking about, the annotation. When you annotate, you have that little text. So it's easier for someone to know that, okay, this is the annotation and this is why it was annotated. Even if you want to explain it here, image is image. I think they said image speaks more than 1,000 words or stuff like that. So once you look at it, you'll be able to understand the image. That is the reason why they call it annotation. So don't confuse somebody by just annotating alone. So this is what we want. You annotate, you have that little information there, that little label. So I will know why. Because imagine she did all this and no labels. I'd be wondering why. You start reading, and when you're reading, you will not need to over explain this labeling here. You're like, the first imagine doing this. Okay, the bigger rectangle, that phrase, the bigger rectangle, what does it mean? You now over explaining. You have a lot of variables in that. So this is cool. You have the page link and the problem. Problem is red, but we have our blood are red, so I don't know why they made red problem. So this is the landing page, page link, problem. You have this, and you have this little section explaining this. And okay, this is the original content, getting started with links. So when somebody will really want to know what the problem is, where can I get this? You have the links all over, suggested fixes, example fixes. This is also cool. So content for cards, introduction to this, recommendation for landing page. Whoa. You can see. So this, now when somebody go through this, they would see the problem, they've seen the solution, they've seen other recommended landing structure that you can use. And this is what we talk about, going outside the box, being proactive. So when they look at this, they're like, okay, I think this is cool. This is what it should look like. Men looking at your work alone, they've known that this is where the docs need to be. And if this is what would they call it, like an interview task, they will pick you first before another person because you have seen the feature. Others will talk about problems and this. You talk about the problem, you talk about the solution, you give them example. You even went further to go and source other assignments, other docs, and come and tell them the very best you want and how it should look like. So this is cool. Now propose information architecture for new section. So for next time, this should be this bracket, the full meaning, because somebody reviewing this might not be a technical writer. Now, even if the person is a technical writer, some will not even know what IA means. So abbreviation sometimes would kind of complicate stuff. So, but this is cool. Problems, suggested fix, problem, general, and you have this everything broken down, which is good. So it's easier for me to go from page to page and see how short is not too long. There's a sample of the proposed IA for data extraction API section. This is perfect. Now you also see this and you have that. So now I have one problem with this annotation style. When I was speaking with Prince the other day, I told him this is what we call crossing belt. You're crossing roads, you're not looking left, you're not looking right. You just cross road, motor will hit you. Okay. Now, this thing crossed here, and this might be a problem. So for next time, you look for a way not to make this to cross over another text or over any other objects that would confuse or block it. So you can drag it like you have here. What she did, I normally do this when I started off let me tell you the reason why she did that. Maybe she would say something else. If you look how beautiful it looks, dragging it like this, it looks very cool. But if you want to drag it straight line over here, it's not going to look nice. But when you drag it down, it looks very cool. But trust me, if you do it here, it might not look so cool. So the beauty of it would have been the reason why she crossed road like this, do crossing belts. And if you go through most of them, she did a lot of crossing belts, cross everywhere, doesn't want to check. So if Judy to be driving a trailer, I would never cross that road till she's off. Because she might hit me because she's into crossing things. So, but superb, this is what I want for annotation. You annotate something, you have a little label for it, so it's clear what it means. I don't want to cover the other. Okay, you covered the others. Keep crossing, my sister. So whenever you get a truck, just let me know. Tell me the route you normally follow, so I would avoid that place. So same thing everywhere. You have the link, you have the problem, You have the original. Now, this is one thing I like. You have this here, you have the original content. Now, but one other thing is since you already have this one, this is like you repeating it, you've covered this up. So you can just maybe the grammatical error in this image. This is it. So you have it here, you have it here. So you don't have it double everywhere. So, but so far, this is good. Now you have a mix of tables, you have a mix of this one, and it's not too long. The problems are real. I'm not like I got the problem from a general something. This is cool. So this is what we have so far. So Prince, I don't know if you have any other stuff to point out in all of them, either of them.
One something I was gonna say. First off, this is a very excellent work. Thank you, Judith. You did amazing. And every other person that did very good. We're not gonna go to the ones that were not so cool. Off the bat, if I can remember, I saw one that used a table, which is not bad. But then there are some certain things you do not put in a table because it doesn't allow. For example, Charity, can you scroll down this page a bit on this table here? Now, imagine, okay, this table is not so big, but imagine you have a table like this, lots of rows and columns, and then you're having a list inside one of these boxes or one of the cells, right? Doesn't make any sense to have a list inside the table with three, what do you call it now? Three rows, right? Doesn't, it's too tight. Or you're having an image inside one of the cells. How can I see the image inside there? It's good as useless. So judging the assignment was not even based on what you did, because all of you did well. Most of you took time. There are some documents that are almost, I think I saw a document that was over 50 pages. So this is in-depth analysis. You all did that. For what we're trying to point out in this entire assignment for your review is your structure, because you must take in mind that this document is going to be viewed by somebody. Okay, somebody's going to look at this document. So you should consider how they're going to navigate the document, the time they're going to spend on it, the time they're going to spend on figuring out what you put on the page. So that's why we're highlighting these few things. So next time for doing this assignment you're carrying out, conducting the audit, you have us in mind, because we're the first people that's going to look at it and give you the review before you make changes to your document and then you share it out, because we are expecting you to share this out. We're not expecting you to just keep it here. You did this audit for a live product, and I believe the company is still active. So if you brush up your work, it's something, whatever, if you would like to pitch it live on LinkedIn, reach out to marketing or whatever, or show them that, oh, I handled something, and show them this. I think that would be cool. And one more thing before I go, I think I saw a message on the chat from Christine that said some companies actually handle um, auditing with automation tools, and you're right. However, you should understand what kind of auditing is happening. I'll give you an example. I don't know if any of you have heard of Screaming Frog, right? Screaming Frog. You basically use it to find, most times you can use it to find issues on your blog or a live part of your website, basically. You give it the URL of your platform, whatever you want it to crawl, it should crawl it and get whatever information for you. Now, take for example, you have a blog and you want to audit. What Screaming Frog is going to give you is mostly information based on stuff like, you have an image like this, and the image doesn't have alt text. Did any of you check alt text when you were doing your audit? I don't think so. So there are different things you can audit a document or a page for. So there's a place where automation tools come in, and there's a place where you, as a technical writer, a user, is going to still have to look at a document and then say, okay, this does not flow well. Because at the end of the day, your document is going to be read by human beings. At least for now, we don't know whether we will not be reading documents again. But for now, human beings still read documents. So, no. So yeah, if you would like to check out a tool that handles auditing, that way you could check out Screaming Frog. You can use it to check your site for broken links, right? You can use it to check for a few SEO related kind of adjustments you can make. You give suggestions and warnings for certain things your document or your web page does not have. So yeah, those are a few things I'd like to say, and a huge shout out to everybody that's submitted this assignment. So it's actually amazing. So thank you. Thank you, Salisa.
Yeah, thank you, Prince, for that input. So to add to the automated tool, just like you said, it's going to check for a few. Now, imagine what you guys submitted. I don't think any automation tool would take time to make it easier like this, point out some other areas, because the developers creating those tools, they know that if you want to create a tool that could do what you guys did here, the image, adding annotation on image, explaining this and that, it's going to take years with a lot of bugs. So the other two he mentioned, the streaming frog or something, it will just, like I said, check for minor stuff. Might check for grammatical errors, check for the alt image. Now that is where it's going to stop. It's not going to check anything further in the image. It's just the alt. Does it have an alt? Does it have does the image have a caption, if at all, and all that? So it's not going to cover up much. So and companies that use tools like that, when you go to their docs, you still find a lot of issues. All right, so those are cool. So and when it comes to auditing, there are a lot of things you need to check out for. When you go to the visuals or the multimedia in the image or video, you check for alt, you check for caption, which is one thing I've always been preaching. So people didn't, nobody, I don't think anybody pointed that out there. So caption is good. Like when we read our books, you know, we have figure 1, figure 2. When you get to page 20, imagine I want to talk about figure 1. You want to talk about the image in page 1. You understand? You start seeing it. We go to page 1, you get to line 20, the area I talked about, the boy jumped into the water. Now, before I talked about the jump into the water, there is we started explaining unnecessary things. But just say page 1, figure 1, it has saved you that boy jumped into the water, fish came out, and the boy jumped. You know, you wouldn't explain all that. So caption is good. So you guys should try to include that. But overall, you guys did excellent, did cool. And I think I saw, yeah, a question that we should go over to the ones that are, yeah, we just pointed out that this one covered up everything that we want. This assignment we shared here really did excellently well. So if this would do so well, cover up those areas, implementing your audit with this means that you're adding up to what we want. So going over to the ones that are not too good in an educational system is not ideal. So that's why you always see they pick out, these are the ones who want to talk about, and they leave the rest, because it's not ideal talking about bringing out an assignment and, well, let's say, castrating the assignment. This is not good, this is not good. Nah, that's not ideal. For mental health, for every other stuff. So we only just pick out the ones that are cool, you know, say these ones, they did excellently well, they covered up the other areas. Then you guys can have access to it, then compare and contrast with what you have, see what they did well, which is what we explained in this video. And it can be constructive. You understand? We have these ones right now. We've pointed out what they did well. So if your assignment wasn't picked, you now go through these assignments that we're going to share later on and check what did they do well that I didn't do. That's all. So we pointed out areas they did well, what also they missed out, because everybody didn't do 100% well, even including myself and Prince talking about the assignment and all that. Even if we decide to give you our own, we'll cover up most things that we should, but we can't cover up everything. That is life. Nobody is 100% perfect. Okay. So that's why we pointed out some did well. Even the ones that did well, we say we have others that also exceeded expectations. Okay. So we've pointed out the areas they did well, things we liked, things we didn't like. So the call is recorded. Okay. You can go back and watch the call, go to the assignment, look at the call again, check your own assignment, compare and contrast. That is the best. So no need of going to the assignment that that we feel didn't get up to what we want and start cascading the assignment, no matter how you do it, constructively or not, it's not ideal, okay? So when we're done with this call and watch the video, you have access to all these assignments, right? We'll share it. Then that would be you looking at either of them and checking what they did, what they didn't do, trying to replicate it. That's it, right? So please, I don't know if you have anything to say on that.
Yes, let me say something for this one. If you were a member of the API documentation course, we had times where we went through the assignments and we spotted out certain things. So that time is going to come, and that time is going to be when you're working on documentation itself. So this assignment, I gave the general um um I say admonition now, or a general overview of everybody's assignment and said, if it's as what you did, you did well. What we're talking about now is in how you structure the document. And if we have showed you what the best looks like, I think you should learn from the best, or at least what was up to par, or at least what was easy to navigate. And even with the best, right here, we pointed out a few things you should not miss or you should put into consideration when you're making your own. And also, off the bat, I mentioned use of table and certain things you should not do with your table. Tables are excellent to segment your work, but there are certain things that should not be in the table because when they are there, they just make it confusing. Example, a list. Another one, an image. If you have an image in the table, you can't see it. You can't do anything with that image. If you have something that needs an image, you should not put it in a table. Okay? So if you're going to use a table, you should find a way to creatively arrange it and organize it. One other thing I can remember that was not so good. I think it was mostly a table and just organization. There was somebody talking that was really very long. So it wasn't really easy to find, even if the information was in depth, right? If I were part of the company and you send that document to me, it's over 8 something pages. I might scroll through, but I may not get to the end, you know? So that's where we highlighted the use of tabs. So when you rewatch the video, you'll be able to pick up the things we are highlighting. That's tabs, organizing your structure. And one more thing I wanted to add was proper use of headings. Google Docs give you from heading one, a title from heading one to heading 4 or 6, I'm not sure. So you should use that, right? So when the drop down, the tab structure, it all breaks down for you or for the individual if they go that far in looking at your document, you know? So wherever you're using bold, be careful where you're using bold. If you can, use a heading. Okay. So I think that's just it. So yeah, when we get to documentation, that one will create slides, it will show you this is what somebody did, this was, and this is what you should not do. Okay, but for now, this is just an audit, right? And we're not checking the audit because if we do that, we'll find out that almost all of you did well. And this took a lot of time. All your assignments are amazing, honestly, but then we're grading based on your organization. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you, Salazar.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you for that input. So, like I said earlier on in the call, it's more about this assignment, and we're not going to talk about the other assignment till I think we're going to have call next week where we'll go through the next assignment, which is more about the group assignment. So hopefully then some of you, all of you, would submit your own assignments, and that one has to do with the documentation. So we can't wait to see that. If you have any comments, yeah, you're free. You have the mic. Okay, yeah. Sorry, not yet. Okay, Prince. I think we've not picked the winner, right?
No, we did not.
Yeah. So I think I'll give you the mic to do that. You didn't
I
laugh.
don't like the you always say to you. When it comes to auditing, you just carry me up. Okay. Anyways, um, if you remember, and if you're looking at the scheme of work or the curriculum, this particular assignment has a price tag to it. And so, with the entire analysis of your assignments, I hope you can hear me. I just thought I was muted now. So, with the entire analysis of your assignments, we're able to come up with somebody that did pretty well, right? And basically, if you follow the code, I think it should already be very obvious. So, the winner of this assignment, person that goes on with the prize is Judith. If you can remember Judith's work, Judith is the one that used tabs, did the annotation that was crossing over the bar and all that. But yeah, that's Judith. So she did well. And we're proud of her work. It was easy for us to navigate. First, it was just very easy to get what we wanted. And so shout out to you, Judith. Well done. Congratulations. And we had ties, actually. We had ties. So let me just give me a few minutes. We popped out for the second run out. Okay. I will I will I will announce three yeah, I'll announce three other names. So we're supposed to just have the second person. The second person is just gonna get recognized. But well, I'm going to announce the tie as well. Because as I said, your assignments were actually very amazing. So it was actually pretty difficult to make these decisions. So the second person is Cecilia. Actually, she did also a very, very amazing job. Shout out to Cecilia too. Oh, yes, we're going to share the audits, so don't worry. We're going to share the audits. And for the tie, so the tie, we have Gangan Deep. I hope I pronounced that name well. When you watch the recording, you let me know. And Gloria. So yeah, they both did well as well. So shout out to them. Now, we're not saying these assignments are 100%. Because in all of them there were bits of things we didn't like, but then in the midst of them there were more pros and cons, like say it like that, right? There were more yeses than nos, if that makes sense. So yeah, congratulations to Judith, Cecilia, Gangandit, and Gloria. And I'm looking for every other single person here. And before the end of the program, I wish to shout out your name as well. So thank you, Salisa. Yeah, done well. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So that's it for the call. Thank you, Judith, for that. That looks very cool. It goes anywhere. It's easier to navigate, to see the problem, because navigation is everything. That's why people always talk about Google Map, and all that. It does this, it does that. Because imagine Google Map is not very good in navigating. It doesn't have those arrows to tell you arrows with labels. You just have only arrows. You don't know what's the street name. You only see arrows, and before even knowing what to do, what it does is already a problem because navigation is now an issue. So Judith has that key to navigation, and that's so cool. Thank you so much for that. You did excellently well. I'm so impressed. I'm happy. I'm proud. And shout out to Celia. Celia also did, because we looked at our work, like we took our time to look. Trust me, there are a few things we really wanted, which these are, but they are also cool. And what you guys did, if you take it to any company, is awesome. They will look at it and they'll be so proud. Most of the audit reports you have out there, not like we are proud or something, but most are not even close to this at all, including the AI generated reports, automation tools. They won't give you something like this at all. And an interview, you submit, this is what I did. Without even explaining, they look at it, they will be so proud. They're like, I think we need this person in our team. Yeah, so shout out to every other person that did awesome. Gloria and Gangan Deep also. She did very, very great too. So thank you guys. So if you have any comments, you have the floor. Hi, Cecilia. Yeah, you have the floor, Cecilia.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to know, during when you were analyzing the documents, I think Gagandeep's work was even more pages than mine, let's say 15, 15 pages plus. And you kept on saying that if with the navigation issues, if someone is supposed to read that document, they would get bored, right? So are you saying that when you're handing in an audit report, the shorter the better?
Yes, it's not good to be too long. So
Okay.
if you use the sidebar to break it down, it's easier for someone to see what they want, because most people which are your managers, which will definitely be your manager,
Mhm.
most times might not even be a technical writer. So they don't have that time. They just want to go through each section, what it does, what is it, and just go. So if it's too long, they'll be so bored even going through it. They might even tell you, please, can you break it down? So most things I'm saying right now are from experience, where I have found myself doing something like that. And my manager said, hey, come, I don't know, this is, break it down, let me know what you're trying to say here. So I try to break it down. No, break it down more. I'm like, oh God. They are not much of a technical writer. They just want to see the problems, try. Sometimes they will go through your problem, try to follow it. If it's step by step, they try to follow it and see where the problem is and do that. But when it's too long, most won't even take it.
So then are you saying that we shouldn't do such in-depth reports?
Let me go to the assignment and so I don't know what you're pointing at. Talking about long, breaking
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So let me know if you can see my screen.
Sia, can I help you out?
Yes, please.
Do you know you can carry out an in-depth report and present it using a point-based system? Do you know what I mean by point-based system? Where your thoughts are presented in bullet points. So you're listing out a problem in bullet points. Does that make sense to you?
No, because is there an example that you can give? Is
Okay. Are we looking okay? Are we okay, Sawizo?
No, yeah, look at my screen
Okay.
here. So now this one, let me close this one. Now, as a technical law, as someone that reads content online, okay, when I want you to answer my question now, when you look at a scroll bar like this, that is this short, because looking at this, you know that it's short. So how do you feel when you want to start reading a content like this compared to when you see a scroll bar like this?
Yeah, the longer one is overwhelming.
So once your manager looks at this, oh, it's easier for me to just go through it. That is what he or she will have in their head. But when they look at this, they're like, will I go through? No. For me, or if it's a remote work, they will just send you a message, please break this down. They are not saying reduce the explanation or anything, break it down page by page. So it's easier for them to go through it. That is what I mean. Look at this work right now. I come to this section, data extraction section, and this is what we have here. It looks easier for me to just go through. She used the point-based system here. Like I said, you can use anyone, but this shouldn't be too long because person going through it might not even have the time to go through it much. What they are focused on is more about the problem. They might not even check the suggested fix or solution. So when they go through to confirm that this is actually a problem, then they will not create it from this problem, from the solution. They will not say, this is the problem, now fix this using this your solution that you provided. Most times they won't even go through it. What they will go through is to confirm that this problem is actually a problem. Now, since this is short, it's easier for them to go through it. Now, when I'm done with this, I will come to this place section, also the same thing. Now, but when you come here, this is everything put together in one page. So how would they go through when they are, sometimes it might be in the second section, you don't know. You think you're still in that first section because everything is just in one page. They didn't try to break it down.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, what she did is fine. What you did is fine, but breaking it down more will be easier.
Okay. So what
Now, yeah, sorry.
So what Prince was saying with the point-based system is like you highlight the
Highlight it makes it much easier for someone to
points, basically.
makes it much easier for someone to pick up. Because when you over explain, like some of you did over explain, even with Judith, I did some examples. I talked about the examples that those are good. but the person looking at it most likely won't even look at that part. But it is good to have. But when you use it, it's easier for me. I know that this is the problem. This is where they will focus their major issue, because the audit is you're looking for a problem. You've pointed out the problem, you pointed out the solution, but when they are creating a tax, they are creating a tax from the problem. Now, looking at the problem, no clear this, let me check, no clear this, no clear this, let me check. Oh, it's not here. I've created the tax. Simple. Now, in the Jira tax or whatever system they use or whatever tool they use, you just copy this with an English, do this and recreate it to have this and have all these things in it. Simple. Sometimes if you have the time, they will now go through your proposed solution to confirm if actually this proposed solution is, if you have some teams that have that much time, they will go through it. But having it like this is clear. This is the problem, this is the suggested fix. Now this is a sample for them to go through it. Fine and good. And with this sidebar broken down, it's easier for me to know I'm here and I'm here. I'm not trying to have two things in one page that will confuse me. Sometimes I don't know if I've gotten to the next page or I'm still in the first page. All right. Did I answer your question or not?
Yes.
And Prince, do you have any? I think you wanted to add something to Prince.
No, I think we're good. I think we're good. I think you get the point right now, right? So you can perform an in-depth analysis, right? But then present your information with points, so it's easier to read, skim through, get your idea, and move on. So that's just the point. Does not stop you from doing anything in depth. Okay, thank you.
All right. Christine, you have the floor.
Oh, thank you. I was just gonna suggest to if you want to make it shorter, what I kind of did was decide to focus on like 3 specific recurring issues in the documentation and take examples from like the 5 pages that convey it.
All right. Thank you for that comment. So, like I said, you guys did exceedingly well. So proud of what you guys have done. And if you share what you have, it's going to make way for you. I think that they have one Christian song, Maywaker. So this will be your Maywaker because it's cool. And adding the screenshots, adding the annotations, adding labels to the annotations too, because most likely somebody that will review that will not be a technical writer. And even if the person is a technical writer, they will expect that you make it more detailed. And that would help a lot, which is what I think Cecilia missed in her own work, the annotation parts, and also not adding that labels to some of them that need the labels. So, but I'm so much happy with what you guys have done so far. When we looked at it, it was mind blowing. So we had a shorter time to get to this point, and you guys could come up with this. So we can't wait for this ongoing assignment, being the audit, and the what Astro and Vue.js. So it's Vue.js, VuePress. Okay, so you guys are moving everything from VuePress to Astro, and I think I heard some of you talk about customization. So I can't wait. I don't know if it's customization for the layout or maybe just the UI component alone, but till you guys get there, we are there waiting for you already. So any other comments? Any other question? Or are we good? Okay, so Judith, you have the mic. What do you have to say? Is she here? Judith, are you here?
I think she left.
Okay. Maybe she left.
I can see her name still in the call list.
Yeah, she's here, but yeah. Okay, so while we wait for Judith, so Cecilia, you came second. You did cool. You did very well. So do you have anything to tell us?
No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the, are we getting money or it's just Judith?
Yeah, I think the only person that will get is Judith.
Okay.
Except she wants to give you something.
Yeah, and thank you for the feedback. I'll make sure to include everything that I've learned today in presenting the next audit.
Yeah, sure. Because the next one is going to be a big work for us because this took us a lot of time because we had to go through everything and check a few stuff. Now, the next assignment, which you guys are doing currently, would be a much bigger work because we're checking your audits. We also now checking the docs itself. So we are checking the view press docs and we're also checking your current docs. And so anywhere you want to host it, you host it so it's able for us to check. We'll create a form when you guys are through. So you put that. What you put there is the hosted link. And do you need to? Okay. And ensure you add the GitHub repo in Astro where someone can just click it. So no need of putting that in the so we can create a form where you also put your GitHub URL, but ensure you add the GitHub repo in the assignment. I think that's all. And then also you had the form also come with the link for your audit. So you add that one and add it. So like I said, I know the assignment is very easy. Most of you will be like, they're giving us something too easy. We're sorry, but we just have to make it this easy for you guys because if it's hard, it's going to take you so much time. Some of you are working, some are schooling, and some are babysitting and doing more other stuff. So we had to give you guys something very easy. And it wasn't my idea. I think it was more of Prince's idea. So if you are looking for who to blame or who to push your anger, so you can
Thank you very much. I see you. Thank you.
you can go to him and hold him. Yeah. So all right, she's back. All right. So Judith, you came first, and we want to hear from you.
Good evening, everyone. Good day, good afternoon, wherever you are. Okay, I can say I'm really happy seeing that I came at first position. It's not that I'm really that perfect. It's actually a process which I've been going through for a long time. I talked about how I started my first auditor. It was really difficult for me. Like I knew the problem and the solution, but presenting it was a big problem for me. So from that experience, I decided to like improve further while I was auditing this verified documentation. So I can say yes, I'm actually making progress. I'm improving. I'm growing, and to others, because you did not come out first or your name was not mentioned does not mean your work was not good enough. So I want to say a big shout out to Sir Prince, Wisdom for their guidance and support. Yeah, that's all I have to say. And thank you everyone for the congratulation message. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Judith. And I think people are asking questions about sharing the money. So maybe you guys would discuss that on this Discord if you want to share money. I'm also I cannot if you want to actually share, I think I would send my this thing across too. No, there is no harm in trying. Like I say, try my luck. Maybe to touch your heart to share it across. All right. So once again, thank you guys for the call. Thank you for doing the assignment. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's yourself, it's your growth, but not everybody did the assignment. So for you guys to go for that to do it, thank you. We really love that energy. And the main essence of this group is to help you get to that point where you're not. It's a learning process. So I think this is our first call, reviewing assignment. So we'll have more calls, and each review comes to the lesson. You get to learn something, things you missed out and things you didn't miss out. Okay, so it's more of a lesson. And the next assignment is going to be a tough one because we will need to pair you guys to work together. So we'll pick randomly. We are not going to pick this one. We'll pick randomly. I think there's a way to create a pool on Discord. So use that pool system to, more like a shuffling system to get out the group members. So first we need to know those that are active, so we don't add people that are not active in your group. Nothing kills the morale more than that. You have 5 people in a group, 2 are just actively doing stuff, 3 are just off it. So trust me, you won't want to find yourself in that kind of a group. So we'll ensure we look for a way to get those that are active. Then I think we'll do that after this call to get those that are active first. Then with that, when we want to create the group, we'll work with what we have for the active ones and create the group from there. Okay, so any other comments before we say good night, good evening, good morning, depending on your time zone? Do you have any other comments? All right, we don't have anyone. Thank you guys for joining.